Hello, chat. That was weird. I had like a weird frame drop at the start for some reason with OBS. Huh. Interesting. But hello, long time no see. We're gonna be talking about Vampire SMP. Hope you all enjoyed episode one, and you all have enjoyed the launch of everybody's series so far. I haven't seen y'all since last Monday, which might still be the case for this series. Because as you can see, if I go here, this was the timeline um, for my episode one. Also, Zen, thank you for the 25 months. I appreciate it. That means y'all have now got 224. Well done, chat. Yeah, so, fun fact, I used in this B roll of all the little purple that you see. Right, all the little bits of purple here and there. Um all these third person shots. Uh there's over 200 different flashback shots. Also, hello, Koala. I completely missed Cowboy SMP, so hopefully I can catch up with this one. It should be easier because they're YouTube only. They're YouTube exclusive. So you'll be able just to catch up whenever you're able to, and the only time we actually get to see stuff is from our recordings. So yeah, 229 um different B-roll shots of every single thing. Yeah. Which after a bit of time you get a timeline like this. So I'm gonna pretty much today I want to kind of go over my process with making my video, making my content, going a little bit more into behind the scenes, and just answer any questions y'all have with episode one if you've seen it yet or not. Yeah. So let's just start off the back. The introductory video, right? Uh, two big thank yous to Liam and Katie for doing the maid and butler voice. Hello, Antari, doing the maid and butler voice as the intro voices. It played a lot into helping, like, kind of build, I feel, a little bit more of the world. I wanted this idea um, going into the series of kind of expanding on the characters that you don't see, right? Like we always hear creators talk about like, oh yeah, I come from an XYZ household, or my family sent me off to here or there, like so on and so forth. But we never actually get to see it unless people do like cinematics for it later into the series. But what I wanted to do, instead of like introduce me straight off the bat, have sort of this bit of dialogue between the maid and butler as like a concerned like worry for me going to this place, right? And if we just play it, I can kind of go through my thought process with it. pause. Okay. So very, very fun with this. A lot of the other thing I did in this series, and I want to continue on for each episode, is sound design. Sound design plays a huge aspect to like visual and immersion, right? So all of this down here is entirely just sound design. So if I solo out this, you'll only hear thunder. I'll also turn up the audio so y'all can hear it. So it's just this entire file line right here is just aspects of thunder. Right? And then the file above that is rain. So when you put them together, you get a nice little bit of immersion to it, right? And then what I also did to kind of pull into this aspect of like it's a past conversation is everything of this point, and even the part of Liam like talk it. You made custom. No, it's from Epidemic Sound. Epidemic Sound has a bunch of different sound effects. They have a huge sound effect list files, and so searching up different like thunderstorm, rain, thunder, they have a huge selection to pick from. So that's why I always use Epidemic Sound for my stuff. And I'm not sponsored to say that, but I really like the product. So, but the other thing I did to sort of put into this past idea is a studio reverb. And pretty much reverb is a thing where you can like change the how much of an echo, how to lay it is, the width of how far it goes out, the dampening effect, the dryness, which is basically the actual tone of the voice, and the wet, which is the echo. And so I just used the preset of a large vocal room because kind of amplifying this idea that it's in the past. So that's why when we solo out these two, so you have that like vocal reverb to it, and like it's a lot more prominent when it's by itself, but when you combine it with the rain and thunder, it kind of mellows out a bit. Right? So, very, very fun way of doing sound design and sound effects together. And on top of that, I wanted to also, this is very, very subtle, but these two lines right here are technically these three lines right here are the sounds of a horse-drawn carriage, a horse galloping, and just the carriage noise in itself. Also, Tari, thank you for the 100 stream streak, triple digits on that. That's crazy. And Nerdy as well, thank you for the 35 stream streaks that I missed a little bit earlier. But yeah, so if we solo these out, you'll kind of hear the noise of like the carriage and the galloping of hooves. So that's the carriage noise. You hear then the galloping effect. And then once again, a bit more of like the carriage pulling away. And so as time passes, right, between the actual of Katie and Liam talking, it's then Liam basically talking to me one last time. And that's when the music actually starts to build up into the into like the present moment. And what I think is a really, really cool aspect of this, right, is as the rain stops, because I went into world slash rain toggled, and then I also did slash clear to make it like the rain's pittering out and fading. The dynamic of the screen, which is simply just a crop. That's all this is. It's just a crop layer. So it's just the top and the bottom crop to give the black bar effect. This one I believe is just a simple color correction. We editing, yeah, we're going over all the editing like stuff that I did for the series. And then as the rain like fades out, the black bars also fade out, and as well as sort of like the last hitting like note with no reverb. Once you get after Liam like says this, there's a pause, and then there's no reverb with Liam's last like saying almost to himself, so don't risk your life for nothing. And then that's how the intro starts. So yeah, all of this technically is B-roll as well. But this is just the first 45 seconds of a 40-minute use little tools in After Effects and Premiere. Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, so Premiere Pro is what I use for editing at the moment. But like I said, it then enters into the sequence of a lot of back and forth of first person POV and then third person flashback. So like I said here, all this purple stuff that you see, all these purple little hold on, I can actually make this a little bit easier. All of this purple right here, it's all flashback shots. So all of this. Which is a total of over 200 different shots taken for this. But yeah, so now we enter into sort of this dynamic feel where, again, adding a bit of ambience to it is you have music in the background, but you also have, since we're in a forest, just a light bit of the leaves rustling and birds chirping. It's very, very subtle. And then in the distance, when it pulls out, sort of this breeze that's going over the grass. And when you combine the two together, you don't really hear it, but it kind of, your brain kind of connects it together without fully noticing it's there. That's another thing that I did. Since this is a pulled out shot right here, I dropped the audio file. So I actually reduced the loudness of like the birds and the leaves and such within the forest because you're farther away, so you wouldn't hear them as loud as you would. And then when you're back up, they kind of are a little bit louder because you're still right next to it. And then as time goes, it slowly fades out, and then we're back to here. So yeah, let me do that again. Yeah, that's just basically how this whole process went. Whenever I could use sound design and overall like atmospheric effects, that's what I did, or things that tied to the character in some way. So from this point onwards, it's more of music playing in the background and then just full cinematic shots. So one thing that I tried to do is whenever someone was talking and it was individually, for example, like me saying hello to Sausage here, it's an over the shoulder shot with the reflect with over the shoulder shot of mine, and then when Sausage walks up, it's in a shot of Sausage saying hello. And I do this pretty much for not every but majority of it whenever there was a conversation where someone asked a question or they were talking for a good amount of time, sort of like this like way of the camera panning to left or right or zooming in and out. And then if it was more group shots, I would then do stuff like this to show everybody in the scene. And so that's what I did for pretty much most of it, and that's why there's so many different shots, is because there was so much introduction and talking points of people meeting each other. There's a lot of shots of just everybody like speaking, so needing to get shots that are back and forth like this. And it was very tedious. I was basically trying to get this is roughly 40 minutes, so my goal each day while editing was trying to get at least 10 minutes done. For this. And so we have recording sessions are roughly 2 hours long, can go a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, depending on how things are. And I had to cut 2 hours into 40 minutes. So there's a lot of different things that I cut out. Like I didn't show much of me building my house. There are some conversations that I took out. There are some dynamics that in other people's POVs that you probably have seen. Like, I don't know if anyone else has seen it yet, because one thing that us creators have kind of done is none of us have seen any of the other POVs. And that's just so we don't get spoilers for who the vampires are and who aren't. Don't say who they are. Don't spoil it, because if you want a really good series from us, it's more fun if we don't know. So we have to kind of wait like about around the third episode is when we can start watching people's content, because at that point we'll probably know how most stuff goes down. About doing introductions for characters boring. Can we see yours? Oh. My thing was just a simple hi, I'm Abolish, and I am a certified drone pilot. Because I am. I am licensed in flying drones for commercially stuff. Like it was just like the reason why we kind of introduced ourselves in a way is also for sound testing. It's because everything here is dynamic. One fun fact that you probably don't know is the first half of the video, which is about here in my recording. At this point right here, certified fanfic writer. I was certified because we did go alphabetical order. We went alphabetical order, and I started with I'm a certified drone pilot. But this point right here actually marks the ending of our first recording portion, because we kind of take a break in between to make sure anyone needs to grab a water and do something with it. And so there's a reason why, fun little fact, there is a reason why it kind of cuts from here of walking and then jumps to here. It's very subtle, but it's because while we're talking about this, there's a visual thing that the session ends. Let me see if I can. Yeah, so right here, the whole 2 hours and 20 minutes of recording. Little bit of immersion break, right? But we kind of introduce ourselves, start recording. they get everybody into a session, right? We get put our to our like starting points, which were all random starting points. So no one, unless you really wanted to be somewhere, no one really had to start it. Like no one knew, so we just got TP'd randomly. And then we have our little dialogues, our conversations. Oh, this is funny. Um, so so there's a moment. Where is it? I'm building my house, and Apo, she brings over some cows. It's like earlier into where it was during night. But yeah, you can see there's a lot of things I cut out, like me just starting to build my home and whatnot. This right here. Um, so there's been like this thing of what I believe Shelby, she has like is looking for Bigfoot or like cryptids I've gotten from the interactions in day one, right? And so there's this moment right here where I'm kill some stuff, and Apo has and so we found out Shovel was muted later, like post recording. Shovel had her mic muted. It was just staring, which is so funny. And so this interaction happens, and I forget where it's at. But then Shovel later on mentions something about mimics and such. And I didn't put in because it doesn't fit the narrative that I'm doing, right? I mentioned like she mentioned something about mimics, and I'm like, those could be mimic cows. You never know. And Apo has to fully be like, no, they aren't mimic cows. They're just normal cows. It was super funny. It was just like a brief moment. Um, but there's a lot of funny, like just creators being creators, right? And with how much proximity chat is, right? Avid and Drift live right next to me, right? And if you've seen episode one, and even from my bit of POV, I'm guessing if you've watched Avid's had a lot more as well. Avid is full like there are vampires there, real like full like lunatic almost in a sense of like this person's crazy and so on and so forth. And so while I'm building my house and trying to like not laugh, there are moments where I briefly hear Avid like just shouting, there are vampires, I'm not crazy, or something about the silver blocks or something. And it's just, and the way proximity chat works sometimes is it would sometimes cut out, or sometimes just someone would randomly pop up. And so it was super funny throughout this entire session. Just hearing in the distance, vampires are real. It was so good. Avid's character is so great. But yeah, but anyways, so like I build my house, we have a bit more discussion. And then I want to go actually, like I didn't have enough wood, and the normal player in me is like I'm just going to go get some wood, I'll be fine. But like I'm trying to stay in character as much as possible, and knowing I just shouldn't go out there by myself because I have this very uneasy feeling, especially how everything is right now. It was super annoying, but then luckily Lagundo's like, I need to go get wood, and so me, Pyro, and Apo all followed. And then we enter. There's one moment that I took out of here. Hold on. Where is it? We're just mining wood. Yeah, that. So here's Apo, me, and Legs getting wood, and then we don't see Pyro. We don't know where Pyro's at, but Pyro's just near us, and then You just hear in the distance from Pyro, all good on my end. So there's just a lot of comedic moments of just like funny silliness, and so you a lot of it is taken out explosion, yeah. Um, and then we have these moments of we go down into the cave. I don't want to go into the cave, but I don't want to be out in the middle of the night by myself, so I follow in. And then we get to this part, right? So here, entering into the once it's night. So I love doing these shots, by the way. These like atmospheric esque like distance shot. Real after the series ends, right? No, I'm not doing that because you'll probably see everything that I don't post from other people's POVs. Like realistically. So once again, have a bit of the music. We have this distance like wind effect that you can hear. Just very, very, very light. It's a very light noise of like birds chirping and slight breeze. If Premier wants to play, very, very subtle. It's very subtle. But then, as the music continues to play, again, the ability to have a time lapse effect on flashback is approximately when Apple falls down the altar and you can just hear her scream. Oh yeah, no, yeah, no, and then you push like, and yeah, I'll show it all. I'll show that point out as well. Um, so we hear this noise of the breeze, and then I needed to change the wind effect to be a bit more harsh and spooky. And so since you have a time lapse effect with flashback of like it going day to night and then um the moon being this red crimson-esque moon, you have like this howling noise. And just add a bit of effect of a wolf howling in the background. And Crimson, this is probably one of my favorite scenes out of the entire like episode. Just because the dialogue and dynamic between Sausage and Martin and then Ren coming in and me being able to like sort of capture like this conversation between everyone, and it gives a bit more explanation to the world and what's happening around us in the sense. Or Premiere wants to just do that. I love Premiere. Yeah, so because with the spooky like howling noise and like the very eerie melody of the piano. Also, this shot right here, I love that I was able to capture. Being able to get this moment of Ren looking up towards the red moon, and it's just that shot right there. It's so good. It is so. I love this shot because it's in perfect angle. Like it's super cinematic, but like it's just because where the moon's placed and where Ren is facing. It's so good. Um, so one fun fact actually about this shot right here, um, is originally, I don't know if I still have it or no. Hold on, let me check something. Do I actually have this shot? Nope, that's not. Hold on. Let me. Boop. Hold on, chat. Let me see if I can find the shot real quick. Hold on. I'm seeing if I can find. Yes. Okay. Is this what? Yeah. Awesome. 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 Um. So there is a. Cool. All right. So originally, we actually. Stay on the timeline. Speaking of 200 years, was that one? No. No. And I will try to explain it in character if somebody asks. Right. The timeline of which Oakhurst perished is way before Vampires SMP abolished, his parents died. So that's also not what I. There we go. Cool. So it was way before the timeline of when like my character's parents died. So how basically it is, right? Because I pretty much lore dropped why I'm here in Oakhurst in the first place. Okay. So were his parents connected to Oakhurst? Yes and no. So his bloodline traces back to Oakhurst. So his ancestors were from Oak. His bloodline, his ancestors. That's why I say when I talk to where is it? I think it's here. Yeah, here. So it is right here. My ancestry is from here. His bloodlines from Oakhurst. Right? And the reason why he's in Oakhurst in the first place is just because he lost his parents at such a young age. And as he learned more about his family from the manor lord that adopted him, and from the maids and butlers telling him the stories of Oakhurst and the history of the place and how his family was actually his bloodlines somewhat from there. His family left Oakhurst, but it was just tied back there. Him losing his parents to whatever creature, if you want to believe it's a vampire, in the aspect of it, right, at a young age, is just a separate individual vampire from this place. It just is it's not any like specific vampire tied to this. It's just his ancestors and bloodline were from here. And so to sort of try to in a way try to overcome and kind of close and actually have like an ending to this trauma that he had as a younger child, he goes to Oakhurst to pay respects for his uh pay respects to his mother and father. And ultimately, which I don't say in episode 1, but I'll just say it here, he wants to sort of, it kind of represents, I want to pay, when I'm chopping down a tree earlier in the video, I say I want to pay respects to my family or my parents, but I can't do that right now with everything being in disarray. It's the sense of I want to kind of build a grave for them, but I can't do that if there's nothing here to build the grave for. And so the only reason why he's here in the first place is because he just wants to do something nice for his now gone parents and to end it, like to kind of have a conclusion to this trauma that he had. And so that's why he's here. So a little bit of like sort of a spoiler to why he's here, but also I kind of said everything in episode 1. I just didn't say that I was making a grave. I just I'm building it to my ancestors. So yeah, he has, like, realistically, right? The great grandparents came from Oakhurst, and their descendants survived the massacre who had your parents who didn't perish for mysterious reasons, which may or may not have been connected to history. No, yeah, basically, right? So his great grandparents were from Oakhurst. Their descendants already left Oakhurst before the massacre. Way before the massacre. Yeah, like his great grandparents were from Oakhurst. His relatives already left the place before the massacre happened. And so he has no bloodline left because his parents died when he was 10, and all his ancestors were already either gone or were massacred 200 plus years ago, that were still in Oakhurst. And so they already left the place before it all happened. So it's basically this poor man right here. This poor individual right here has just come to this place just to want to make a grave for his mom and dad. And is now wound up in this situation to where he has no connection to Oakhurst realistically. The only thing that ties him to this place is an old bloodline like 2 decades ago that he doesn't even fully know. Like he doesn't know anything about like this place besides the stories that he read and were told by the maids and butler and the manor lord that were friends of his parents. That's it. So he has no connection here. Like, genuinely, if I could, right, I think it would be so funny for all this stuff to happen and for my character just be like, I'm not gonna be, I'm gone, I'm leaving, I'm dipping, bye, and just leaves. Like, I don't care about this place enough to where I need to stay here. But that would end so quick the series so quickly for me, right? Like, that's just like that's how it is. And so when I made this character, I wanted people to basically be like, this poor person, this poor dude doing family history. I would like to say no, exactly. I can come back here later and make my parents a grave. Like, I can come back and do that later. The finale, yeah. Like, I can come back and do this later. I don't want to die. I don't want to become a vampire, whatever it may be, right? And so you're now kind of understanding the quote tweet that I made when I revealed my character. And if I can restate it real quickly, I didn't seek conflict, I hoped for closure, and now I'll stain my gloves crimson. I didn't come here for a fight, I came here for closure of my trauma. Now I'll have to stain my gloves crimson, aka now I have to defend myself. You're kind of understanding now, and this is what I was trying to point to in episode 1. This dude has trauma. This dude has gone through a lot. He's just come here for closure to end off so he can move on with his life. But it continuously pulls him back and it haunts him in a sense. Because now he has to now stain his gloves crimson. You think he'll actually survive? Who knows? Genuinely, who knows? The series isn't scripted. Like, that's the thing. There's no scripting. It's all improv. It's entirely, in the sense, similar to like life series, where like there's nothing scripted. The things just happen. We'll find out next week, and so on and so forth, right? Because like ultimately we can't really do things, right? I can't just be like, guys, let me live. Now, that's not in like them being like, sure, beforehand. Now, while recording, I can try to charisma check my way out of this and basically be like, spare me, let me live, because I don't even want to be here in the first place. Right? Like, I can beg, I can plead, I can try to convey why I'm here, and I just want to go. Like, that's entirely it. Now, will that happen? We don't know. We have no idea. Against persuasion, so I mean, they do, but also sometimes just asking nicely, and sometimes just what's the word? Getting on the person you don't want to turn you or kill you is good side. Kind of works if you're just being nice to them. But we will see. But anyways, what I was trying to say earlier, right, is these shots right here. You see, like, these cinematic shots right here, for it. So, funny enough, they weren't this bright originally. You can do with having saying no, surely, exactly. Hello, it's so yeah, these shots right here, any third person shot you see was actually not this bright. So when I was editing this, and it became night, it was actually very dark. So like if we look at this shot of Martin, flashback, fun fact that we learned, does it naturally have dynamic lighting connected to its shaders? And so, while I was editing, I went into the mod folder we had, and I installed Lamb Dynamic Lights, is what it's called, I believe. And so from this, originally, was something like this. You see you see how dark that is, comparatively? It takes away, like, even if Martin had the torch in his hand, it's so dark. And so like shots like this, if anytime we would have this, so I basically threw that into the suggestion like, hey, if anyone's doing some night shots and we need like brightness to show off the dynamics of the lights, install this because it works. Because one thing great about Fabric is that it also anything that was already recorded, it will just update itself and re-implement the lighting into it. So originally, this is what the recording looked like. I then closed out of the replay, closed out of the game, installed the light system for the better dynamic lighting, and then it actually added it to the post-production, which is super cool and super nice. Also, it's a thing for the tier 2 with 17 months. That means y'all have gotten this, now it's a tier 2, up to 26. So well done. Nicely done, chat. So yeah, basically, no, it's higher tier. So tier 2 is 2, tier 3 is 3. Yeah. So yeah, that is a little fun fact as well that you guys probably wouldn't have known. Is that naturally the torches that we had, because like it works here, everything is lit up when we offhand our torch. Like all this is like lit up around me, but originally it was like this. Which I'm glad I was able to find something that worked with that, because my gosh, the amount of dark like shots that we had. Because like for example, here, this shot would have been miserable to try to film and try to get. Would have been so annoying. Super, super annoying. But yeah, so there's that. There's also this little fun scene that I did here. Again, one of my favorite scenes from this entire series. From this episode. That shot is super nice. It's quite simple. Basically, I'm zooming in the FOV here, and then I do a dolly zoom effect of where I zoom in on myself, but I pull out the FOV because you can change the adjustment layer. I then just have a simple crop of the mask, so you get this darkened look around it. And then a push back out. And then with that, you get the like ringing of an ear, the heartbeat, this muffled scream in the background, and then the release of breath sound effect. And another thing that I did here is if we go to this little tab right here for this one, it has a parametric equalizer, and I actually adjusted the sound to where the high shelf, which is the high ends, yeah, there's a scream. There's a slight scream in the background. You hear it? I can slow that out as well. I'm so late. It's all good. Yeah. So again, it just has a studio reverb, but it's also edited to where it's way more muffled. See, there's like 0 dry, which is there is 0 of like the actual effect. So like if I put that to 80, you'll hear a bit more. Right? But then if I turn it down to 0, it comes way more muffled. It's super faint. You can hear it a lot better with headphones because I'm using headphones when I edit. And so I try not to make it super loud for those that have headphones. So a lot of the sound effects you would hear from like your phone or your computer, it's a bit more quiet. But yeah, this is tied to something. Y'all can figure out what this is tied to. But I did a lot of reverb stuff. So like, for example, going to here, when we are super far out, it's a bit more muffled, like you're hearing it in the distance. So there's a slight echo and a slight muffle to it, and that's just because we're super far away. We then come up to here. And then from at this point, we add a bit of cave noise sounds. Just a slight air, like stillness of air effect. But then also, anytime we're in any cave, catacombs, tomb, wherever there was any way of adding echo, I added reverb to it. So like everybody, there is a reverb effect to hear. So there's just a slight echo and reverb effect to make it seem like the voices are bouncing off the walls, like how you would in a cave. So that's here in this entire shot here. And then fades out here, back to normal. In a cave system, reverb again. And then inside we're tomb. The other fun thing, and I wanted to show this again, is when we get to here, this is actually the ending of the first recording session. So like this is why there's sort of like a jump between this shot to this shot. It's just because here, if we record right around here, where is it? Yeah, right around here, was session is currently paused. And so this is our halfway point for us. And so we were actually talking about stuff and the session ended, so that's why it kind of like cuts to this. And I think I did a good job of kind of making it subtle enough to where you don't really notice. And then we have this, we have the little like decayed forest. And then we just have another little comedic moment. We find our first tomb. And then Apo, she just runs up the stairs and accidentally falls down. Echo cuts off. And then Pyro just jumps. Yeah, so from our perspective, we don't know there's actually a bubble elevator here. We just think it's some like tomb-esque thing. So if I speed up here, right, like from this point, like from this part of the POV, the whole part is so good. Yeah, well, yeah, it's just a repeat. So I've been using not the entirety of songs. So like I'm using the stem files, which is just only portions of the music. Hello Galaxy, to kind of put it together. So all you hear is just only like the instrumental melody. There's none of like, for example, here. Which I believe is bass. Right, and then you have, I think, drums. Yep. Then you have more of the melody, which is what you hear at the very beginning, which is just only the instrumental portion of Ancient Discoveries. And then this is the melody. Yeah, so it's only the stem file, so it's not everything. Because if you have everything for like the intro, right, that's what you would hear. So like, especially towards the ending, where it's like you get this huge like portion of it. So using only or is it like this, right? Like this is towards the ending, and I only wanted the piano of this, so I only used the piano here. This one is right here, which is what you hear of the cello, which which you get from this, which is just only the instruments. It doesn't take anything of the melody, which is a bit higher pitch. And then you have the full source. Oh, this is a separate one. These are two separate like files. Those are two separate ones I didn't use in this one. But that's what I'm saying. So like when I need to actually use specific parts, or if I want to use all of it, I can then just take that. Like I believe I used this towards the ending here. I think I layered these two. But yeah, that's why this entire thing is just this, just to repeat it over and over again as just background noise. Because it's enough noise to where it's not something that can be picked up, but it kind of affects the mood and dynamic of it. But where was I? Here. Nope, one more. Here. With this scene, when we get to here, right? So we don't really know that there's a bubble column here, right? And so Lagundo, of course, just like we don't have rope, we like very very logical, like why should we jump down there? So I look at my inventory and I'm like, okay, I have blocks, I have stuff. We can technically pillar out of here if need be, right? You only see this here, which is sort of like the difference of it. Is Lagunda's looking down. I'm actually looking at my inventory, and then in my head I'm like, okay, we need to go down there for content, right? Because I don't want to I don't want to jump down there and just leave Lagundo up here by himself, but I also don't want to wait up here and wait for them to come back up. Like, funny enough, Pyro does actually launch himself back up here at the same time we jump down. And so that's why I pushed Lagundo, is because one, it was funny. It's just a funny little like lighthearted moment. But also it's kind of just to push forward the narrative a little bit to keep like pacing. And it's super funny because you just have the cutoff of the screams. Yeah. So he's a surgeon, he can help himself if something breaks. Exactly. So that's basically what this is. And then you have a little book dynamic. Or in the tomb, talk about it, go through. There are like bits that I cut out here. For example, I don't like when we get to here and we first see this bridge. In my head, I'm like, maybe we don't come here, just because character-wise, why are we going to almost a broken down bridge? And secondly, that's just ominous. What are we doing? Um, and so we go away, and then it like sort of cross transitions here, and the reason why it does that is because here, um, it's because we go back across to the right of us, and I'm like, I don't really need to show us running back and then jumping over these rocks just to get to this moment, because we just find another tomb here. We either go into it, enter it, look around, find some stuff, see it. And I'm kind of glad we didn't go to the castle right away, right? Is because Pearl and Drift were here. And so it kind of gave us this really cool moment of when we like go to the castle and we kind of leave and we're entering it. One, get a nice little like dolly zoom pull back, makes it even more like spooky. But then we have this cool little dynamic of we run across them at the bridge, right? They're leaving the castle, we're entering the castle. And so we asked like the question like why, like, what are you all doing here? And they were there, but it was a different color. Yeah, that would have been crazy. If it was the like vampire-esque color. But it was so funny because throughout this entire like recording with this episode, there are so many different moments where it's like, for example, Drift being like, yeah, we gotta go, we gotta leave. And so they leave and we're like, what was over there? Like we were trying to ask them. It was just, but like we were so confused with Pearl wearing like the cat head and then them just leaving that we're like, that was suspicious, right? Yeah, because it felt like almost in a way that they are the vampires or they were the vampires. We kind of know they aren't because that beacon didn't change color, and so we kind of can reassure that, right? But this whole like conversation made a very interesting thing of like, they're strange, a little bit unsettling. And then they also probably thought we were a little bit ominous because why are we walking up to the castle now after it became um cured with divine energy? And so this entire episode, there's so many different moments of just people wandering off and suspicion of who's the um the bad guy, right? And who are the vampires. But we have this little like moment of entering the castle, and then we finally get into the. I love this shot, by the way. This little like sort of walking downwards, going opposite of where the stairs are, and then we enter into this moment where it's a different noise, different soundtrack, two different soundtracks, and then we have this eeriness of the catacombs, of just like the slight dripping of water. It's just a cave. It's just a slight cave sound effect with like water dripping. Ah, yes, the rat script. Yep. Um, it got so giddy about the stairs. No, like it's so good. It's super good. I'm so happy with how this has turned out. And then we get these nice little like distant shots. And again, this is why I love the dynamic lighting, because if there was no dynamic lighting, it would be so dark in here. So having also like everything else be dark, but except this little tiny torch in the distance, this little bit of torchlight, with these like far distant shots. It's just such a good cinematic approach to it. And then I add a nice little bit of like eeriness, which is which that little like creepy noise showing the open coffin. Fun fact: this is actually pulled from like mini movies. It's super fun to make. It's a lot of time, but it's super fun to make. Um, the This is actually pulled from a different soundtrack, a different music source, like file than these two, or these two right here. So these are from the same one. This is from a different one, and so they're also at different pacings. So this actually starts sooner than what it actually should be. It should start like here if we're going off of the same level, but it actually starts way beforehand because I was lining up the audio section. And then of course we go through it. I'm like, I don't want to be here at all because I'm starting to get weird bad feelings. I'm starting to like get that PTSD traumaticness of being in the dark, whatever creature attacked my family when I was younger, in the first like reliving that experience all over again. And so lore, yeah. Want to be here right now. You know, it's because um he does not like it. It's basically it's anything revolving around this ominous weird feeling. It's just re-triggering the event that he had to go through when he was 10. Was very suspicious to me. Yeah, I don't know why. Again, my focus was just leaving, so I did not view anything here. But then we leave, and then I am genuinely, right? I am so thankful and I am so glad. Apo, she asked me the question after I was like my past and like just PTSD. Um, Hello, Kira. Your Honor, who gave this permission to make this character a major trauma? I did. The person who made the character. Um, I'm so thankful and like super happy that Apo asked that question of like, where did I come from? Because it allowed me to kind of go into this character a bit more, being like, I come from a city. I come from this place. And then this is by total accident. It's just Apo slightly stopped moving, and player collision is a thing on the server, so I run into her. And so I added both. I kept the music in towards the very end, and then I re-added the same like hitting beat that's in this music, but I only put it here. I jumped. No, that's the whole thing. That's why I wanted to make it. That's why I left it in here, and that's why I added like the bass drop, like drum hitting effect. Because yeah, your heart drops when we fall because you don't realize it. You think everything's fine, and then there's this noise, second noise, and seeing it for the first time if you're not paying attention really is startling for a second. But then afterwards, music fades out, and now we have this little bit of lighter, but still with like a somber tone, drum pacing. Just this. Bum 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 bum. And it's just that. So so it kind of shifts the tone into this conversation. See, and again, this is why I'm saying, and I say it multiple times. Yes, um, I'm also not like just full confidently saying where I am because again, in real life, you wouldn't just tell people where you were exactly from. I had there. The city does have a name, by the way. When I made this character, I went full D&D. My both my parents have names. I have a last name. Um, I technically have my original last name. I have the adopted Manor Lord's name and last name. I have the city name. Every character has names and place locations to them. Like I fully went into massive detail. But it's just I'm not saying where I'm from just yet, just because there hasn't been a good moment. Because again, I just met these people before. I'm not just gonna fully uh explain stuff here, right? And this moment right here, but I guess my ancestry came from Oakhurst. It's because I'm not fully sure, right? Like the only thing I know about Oakhurst is from the stories that I was told by the maids and butlers in Manor Lord. So I guess my ancestry is from Oakhurst. And I even say it all the way here towards the beginning. Right around here. Where is it? Right here. Ancestrally, yes. And there's sort of like a question when I say it. It's not as confident as Cleo says it. It's sort of like a ancestrally, ancestrally, yes. Because I'm thinking about it. There's no confidence that I fully am from here. It's just what I've been told. And so that's why I'm here in the first place type of way. And so when I'm here, I'm like, it's. I guess I'm from Oakhurst, or like my ancestors were from Oakhurst. Again, ancestors, not me, not my mom or dad. My ancestors, my bloodline came from Oakhurst, which again was 200 years ago. I have no ties to this place. He's just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Mom and dad. And I say that right there. That's why I'm here in this sense, to pay respect to my mom and dad. I fully say to my mom and dad. I'm not saying, oh, I'm here to pay respect to my ancestors. No, it's specifically for the two people that I knew had some connection to this place. Or very iffy connection, like bloodline connection to this place. It just got lost in translation. It did. And it's super funny that people are like, because again, I have the spoilers tag off, but I have seen the question because I did see someone in my comments being like, if the massacre happened 200 years ago, how did Abolish's parents die recently? I saw that comment on my YouTube video. So now that you know this, look back into this conversation of my character. Vampires. Like, again, I'm kind of am like pulling back the curtains with this, but I want people to like realize my character of like he doesn't fully believe, he knows it wasn't natural what happened to his parents. And you'll get more of it here, but also at the same time he wants to believe it was something that was natural. Because look how like when I like listen to how I respond to things. Yeah, yeah, something. It's in the sense of me trying to reassure myself that it was normal. It was something natural. He doesn't know what, but it was something. You need to listen to the tone of my voice when I'm like sort of agreeing with things, but sort of not. Because there are reasons for it. Like every answer I do is deliberate in when I respond to somebody in character. And it's super fun. It's super, super fun. Now I'm not saying everything because I want y'all to witness the extra details that I have and such. Um but it is super good. And I'm super happy and glad Appa was able to like ask these questions like on the family left. But yeah, and then again, I reassure. It's been what? It's been 15 years since my parents died, right? And so now that you kind of understand more of my character, you understand what I am explaining to them here. It wasn't that my parents were the ones that died 200 years ago. They died 15 years ago by some creature. And it's 25, chat right there. Yes, yes, it's 25. I'm 25. It happened 15 years ago. I was 10. Yeah. I try to give as much hints and details to this character because there is a lot for this character, like to this character. Um, image as IRL. That's always how it is. Like pulling myself out of character, right? I always just make my character around the same age as me because it's just easier to play a character that way. And that's just how it is. Um, but yeah, this is when I re-clarify it here. Like, that's why I re-asked the same question. Is there stuff in the medical field regarding, like, cannibalisms, people attacking each other and such? Because I'm wanting answers to what happened 15 years ago. And that's why I'm like, my parents died to something, creature, I don't know what. Mm, creature, person, thing, creature, I don't know, right? Like, he was 10. He doesn't know what it was. He just he just hid. And he just had to experience it. So, this whole conversation, now that you know basically a bit more about my character and why he's here, it makes a lot more sense in the first place, right? And again, I reiterate, he saw it happen? No. He heard it happen. He didn't see it. But that is something that you'll get a bit more detail in the future episodes. But I'm not gonna fully say everything that happened in his past because you all will get to hear about it and see it further on at the start with the people from the manor. Yes, so the people you heard at the start were a maid and a butler. Katie was the maid, Liam was the butler. Um, that were basically having discussion, worrying about me just going there in the first place. Right? See, it's a so I try to give as much information as I can, and that's why I also explain I'm not a butler. I just have like butler-esque attire. It's just like if you take off the blazer that like the coat I'm wearing, it's just a dress shirt and a gray vest. I have gloves on with a white shirt. And he has just like the butler adjacent attire because that's what he helps around the manor. He is an adopted child to this manor lord. He was treated nicely and kind by the manor lord. I'll say that much because I don't know how I'll be able to like reiterate that visually or like through it. But like it wasn't. But like as I say, as a respect to him for taking care of me, I help around the manor. I'm not a butler. I'm technically his adopted son, but I still do things as a pay of respect. And so and again, I reiterate that here, but I want to clarify that because there are questions and people were being like, so you're a butler? No, not really. And that's why I couldn't really be like yes and no because I can't be like, so here's the thing that happened to me 15 years ago to some random stranger in like the first time you meet someone, basically just trauma dump on them. It just doesn't make sense, right? So that's why I was very fortunate and like lucky for Appo to ask that question of like what was my past because it allowed me to open up about my character a bit more because there's still a lot of stuff I want to like showcase and like tell and explain in a bit more detail in recording. But that will be something that you'll have to wait and see because I don't want to spoil too much stuff. I think what I was able to say here on like he's not actually from Oakhurst, it's just bloodline. Um, he's not actually a butler, and like so on and so forth, right? But yeah, so we have this conversation, goes through, and then like once we got back here, the rest of the videos literally is just me building. Like it's just me finishing up the entirety of the build of my house. And then I thought, as a way of like, you didn't see any vampires, but to hint towards it and kind of give a bit more ominous, just having Avid sign be the last thing of the video of vampires are real, and then just as the piano fades, it's just black for just a few seconds before it ends. But yeah, super fun. With that being said, though, do y'all have any questions? Any questions whatsoever regarding episode 1, or anything that I can possibly answer that you're still wondering? Just in case, because there are things that I can't answer, are things that I won't answer. But if you have questions, ask, because I want to answer as much as I can that kind of clarifies some things with my character. But you answered them already. What were they? Just to make sure that I did answer them properly. The other thing, and I will say this, chat. Age, and if you saw what happened. Oh yeah, no. Okay, yeah. Age 25, which I clarify, and if he saw what happened. To like reiterate, if he saw what happened, yes and no. He didn't witness the action, but he saw the result. If that makes sense. So yeah, basically in the sense, yeah. But besides that, I will say, where's I kind of just want to leave it on a nice little like screenshot. Just for now, we're gonna leave it right there. Regarding this series, right? Streams might be, what's the word? Less frequent. Even not well, shorter to also just no streams. Just because like I really want to make sure I get these videos done. I can stream on Wednesday, not on Wednesday. I can stream on Monday with no issue. It's just the amount of time I have to put into this, because I have to do this for every week until we finish this series, basically. And it's going to be rough, especially during TwitchCon. Like once we get to TwitchCon, there might not be any streams. Even if it's like one day, I might not, like, even the week before TwitchCon, I might not stream whatsoever. Just because I'm gonna have to fully like lock in, because I have to get the videos done. I also have to get all the thumbnails done, which I hope you all enjoyed the thumbnail. The thumbnail for I want to do more like higher quality edited thumbnails that are tied sort of to the to like the episode. And so like the first one basically me holding up like that I had that idea like ready of just my character holding up a lantern looking up and behind his shoulder. And so but yeah. Let me go here real quick. I'm just gonna like do some parkour while we talk. But yeah, like it's been fun. We record again tomorrow. Which is just nice because it's not even a day I stream normally, so like no issues. You know, it has been very fun and cool to see the reactions and excitement for a series like this. But that you have to cut back on streams. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't help that we didn't record anything in advance. It's not like we started recording this back in August. Nope, we started recording it last week. It had to be fresh and topical. I mean, not so much, like, I would have loved if we had, like, a week or two ahead of time to prep recording, like, have us 3 weeks ahead, like, beforehand. That way, we then would have 2 weeks of actual edit time for 2 videos, and we could pace ourselves beforehand, because that way, if anything was to happen in TwitchCon and so on and so forth, we don't have to go into crunch time. Because, for example, I can edit a like first-person POV, no cinematics whatsoever, in 1 day. Like I fully cut down my video footage in 1 day. Like I can do that. I can get that done. The issue like comes from me just being like, okay, I'm going all out cinematics for this series, which isn't an issue until you have a crunch time, because then it now becomes well, I now have to get all of this other work done. And so there might, depending on how long the series is, and depending on what we do. One episode might have 1 to 2 episodes might be a little less edited. They'll still have cinematics, but it might not have as many. It might be a lot more like wide angle shots and less like conversation-esque shots. I'll still try to throw them in there when I can. Just because I know I'll be editing 2 episodes or 3 episodes, whatever we decide. If we go a route of we are just bulk recording. Because my gosh, it will lip you a lot. But yeah, so just fair warning, depending on how an episode goes, there will probably be like certain weeks where I just don't stream, which is more towards October than September. Oh. How am I falling there? Just because of time crunching and also wanting to make sure I can get a video done to the best of quality that I can. Because realistically, right, I know I am the smallest creator on that server. When it comes to like overall viewership and such, I am the smallest creator on that server. And so audience-wise, the potential reach that I have for my videos when it comes to other viewers is at a way bigger scaling. And so I want to leave a good representation of the quality of stuff that I can make for YouTube. I fully fumbled on that. Okay, cool. And so that's why. Because, like, I even saw a comment, and it was a cool comment to see, but basically someone being like, I wasn't expecting such a high quality video from a channel like this small. Which, in my head, I'm like, that's great to hear, because that means, people that are brand new to my channel and my content assume, oh, because I have X amount of followers. No, it is a good compliment. They assume that it's not going to be the quality that it is, but then when they see it, they're like, wow, this is actually really impressive. And that's why I'm like, I want to make my videos as good as I can, and if that means I have to edit 7 hours every single day each week, I will. Because basically that's what I was doing every day, chat. Every day, I would get up. I would then have breakfast. I would then go to edit after I eat. I would do a few things here and there in between. But, like, it was pretty much 7 hours every single day of editing. Which is a lot of editing. Luckily, though, it should be a bit easier with editing now. And the only reason why I say that, especially knock on wood, but the only reason why I say that is because of the fact that there's not many, like, introductions of, like, hello, I'm XYZ, and who are all of you? It's a lot more of, like, doing tasks, mining, group conversations, getting supplies, and which is good because that means a lot of it are, like, the more wide angle, shots here and there, which is just really useful to me. Because that means I can then just get these wider shots and these more cinematic, just like scene shots of things happening. And from there, I can then build on it, right? Yeah, it will basically be smoother in a way, because like my whole editing process, right? Chat was I would edit. I would open up Premiere Pro. I would start editing. I would go scene by scene, and basically whenever there was a spot where I'm like I can add a cinematic shot here, I would also have flashback open. I would then open up flashback. I would then record what I would needed. I would then export it. I would then import it, and I would repeat that process over and over again. That sort of was the like whole idea to this. Which overall, great, awesome. Um it's just needing to do that for however long can be tiring and can be troublesome. So hopefully videos will get smoother. It's gonna be I think it's gonna be fun until 10 hours before premiere editing episode 1. Yeah, no. Like I said, I was pretty much on top of everything, and that's why I'm like wanting just to make sure that things can get done. Yeah, but overall, it's been super fun. I'm super happy how the outcome has been. Um, it will be interesting. It's already amazing so far. Yeah, like it will be interesting. I'm excited for when like everything gets shown, right? Like, and I don't mean like me personally. I mean just in general. Okay, cool. I placed a block there, but game said no. Um, yeah, no, I'm really excited for the like reveal of everything of like when people are like, oh my gosh, there actually are vampires, and then it becomes this red versus blue aspect of like fighting, because I think the fight scenes would be pretty fun to edit. They're gonna be a bit insane judging from the trailer. Oh yeah, no, like Okay, like out of character, right, chat? I really want to try to find the books, like the tomes that the humans can find that can get us like the cool abilities, the spells. Sort of spells, not really, not always. Basically, think some of them are spells, but some of them are also like items and such. So sort of think if you ever played like Bloodborne, right, where like an item, like a specific weapon can do something. OP and I'm not gonna try to metagame anything. But like the items that you can get in like a Souls-like game where like they have cool effects. Now they are from the quote-unquote spells that we can get, but like it's not like, oh, you can now fly. It's still very human-esque, but they are really, really cool. I'm glad, even though I've been editing this entire past week, that I can still PvP somewhat. That's good to know. Gotta practice for them vampires for real. Basically, that's what I'm doing. It's just so I'm not rusty in any actual fight. Because vampires are still strong. He got range on him. That did like no damage whatsoever. That's crazy. Actually, I'm gonna check something real quick, chat. Hold on. One moment. Also, I need to change this to Minecraft because I'm still on just chatting. There we go. Oh, where was it? Let me try to find something, chat. Hold on. Oh, cool. Okay. Whew. Because that would have been bad. Need to double check one more time, but... Thank you, teammate, for not helping me. Hold on one more time. I need to double check to make sure that it was, in fact... Sorry, chat. I'm just, find something real quickly, so I'm trying to make sure I can... Okay. Still can't find it yet, but... I was there for a second, then I tabbed out and I couldn't find it again. That's why I'm just gonna full send, dive in here. If we get a kill, we get a kill. If not, that is fine. Nope, okay. Ba-da-ba-da-bop. Really? Creeper doesn't... I accidentally dropped my sword. That's not good. Oh, picked up the sword. Cool. Picked up the boots. That's what I was trying to drop. Okay. That was weird by him, but sure. Hold on. Let me leave this lobby real quick. I need to make sure that I didn't... Where is it? Because I was literally just on it. Yeah, not there. Was it further? Oh yeah, it was here. I was looking farther. No. Um... Okay, we're good. Sorry about that, chat. Now we can actually focus on PvP for a bit. Oh, cool. But yeah, anyways, what have y'all been up to? Anything interesting happened last week for anyone? Because last time I saw y'all was Monday. Was last Monday, I should say. Kenzie from TikTok, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome on in. Also, I want to say thank you to all the follows that I gotten since the upload to Twitch. I appreciate it. Really, really kind. Continue my sewing project, so I've been working on that mainly. Hey, you know what? That's fair. More on small project. Curry also getting obsessed with vampires. You know, that's fair. I think a lot of people have gotten obsessed with vampires. And so, okay, there we go, the chest. Fully understandable. Hello? And his teammate had to help. Okay, cool. Silver, thank you for the raiders. Silver Raiders, welcome on in. We've just been talking about vampires and doing some MCC Island as we go. Also did a little bit of a behind-the-scenes editing breakdown, which was fun. Now we're here just practicing some PvP. It's so silly just trying to PvP with knockback 1 because you really can't do much with it. I do think, chat, once the series is fully done and finished, I think I'll do a, like a full breakdown. Like a full breakdown of every episode. And like explain all the hidden lore behind my character and like everything with it. Most unique approach. I think it won't be anything crazy, but like going episode by episode and basically being like, this was the reason why he did this, and this was the reason why this happened, and How are you? No, I was spam clicking, that's why. Wasn't spam clicking, but I wasn't timing my hits right. I swear everyone has levies right now and I have 0. See, when they can't... Okay, there's just 3 teams in there. What, cyan, aqua, and green? Yep. Okay, cool. But yeah, no, like, it's been kind of crazy. The overall, like, body of realizing I can finally rest after editing has been crazy, because I uploaded, right, like, I uploaded, I got the series uploaded, right? And in doing so, my body was not fully, like, done until after my video fully premiered. And then afterwards, I went, okay, now what? And then I realized I don't have to do anything until until I have to record again. And so my body just went, okay, I go sleep now. And all of yesterday was just a full, like, what is 07? Like, just a salute. You're saluting, basically. Just a full salute, like, slash 07, in the sense where, like, O slash is a wave. That's what that means. It's up for 200 years. Nope, I slept until, I think, 9:30 this morning. Well deserved rest. Well. Like, I'm trying to find people, but I just can't. Oh yeah, they're down there. Yep, that's fair. Well, you slept for 23 hours. Dang, a lot of stuff out of those. You know, like, it's gonna be interesting because I now have to basically repeat the whole process all over again tomorrow. So get up early, record, take a break, eat lunch, edit down the whole thing, and then probably, if I have time, start flashback. And then after that, I think the other thing that is going to be easier is with flashback. I forgot to turn it on, but in flashback you can like record the dialogue with voice chat. So that's nice. Because that means I don't have to try syncing up the motions as much as I have to just sync up the words of like people speaking to the timeline, which is way easier to do because that's just lining up the dialogue with each other. This, I don't know if this would or not, but we will find out. I fell way farther than I needed to. And I also love how this game just never properly gives you hunger, right? Like, it just never lets you heal quickly. And that's really annoying. Because it's steak, and steak gives you so much saturation that it doesn't fully heal, and it takes forever. Not fun. How does that not knock him off? That's crazy. Do I? Okay, well, doesn't matter when that happens. Okay, my hit just went right through him. That's cool. Oh, they are just down there. That was just interesting how my hit went right through that guy. But that's just server ping. Yep, that's just server ping. What can I make? A bunch of those. Bum, bum, bup, bup. Up. Oh, that's why it was weird. I didn't have, oh, it's there. I didn't have something on my monitor. I was like, what's missing on the right side of my monitor? I'm like, it's chat. Chat wasn't pulled up. Like, what's this empty space here? Like, I don't really care if I die so much. It's more about just, like, getting hits off when I can. Dun, dun, dun. Ugh. Yeah. But yeah, chat. My brain has been like, only thing that it's been thinking about is like needing to edit and what to edit for. And so I can't really think, like my whole body's just an autopilot at the moment. Basically being like, huh. And I saw that coming as soon as he jumped to his own TNT. Ocean's a bit recording tomorrow. Yep. Yeah, so like streaming right now, since everything's been focused on recording, so like streaming my brain has not like recuperated back into, so like I'm just playing as I go, so if I'm not speaking as much, that's why. Going through the motions of it. Yeah, just a little bit, Apo. Also hello. Yeah. Appa, earlier I was explaining all the editing that I was doing on my video. Oh, come on. One random bow shot is what takes me out, knocks me off. That's crazy. Yeah, I was explaining my character a bit more, and it's funny how everyone has tied me saying my parents' death that happened canonically 15 years ago was somehow still tied to the 200-year massacre. Yeah, but I need to know personally, blah blah blah, just like Dracula. Honestly, I wouldn't pass someone doing it at least once, you know? It's funny how two things have been tied to my character that aren't like that's sausage coded. It really is sausage coded. One, I am a butler, and I'm not just wearing butler-esque attire. And two, that somehow me being at Oakhurst and my parents' death is tied to the 200-year ago massacre. Which they aren't. This dude just has really bad luck is all. Just poor timing and bad luck. Why are you Fortnite building? Like... I don't understand. Everyone just Fortnite builds in Sky Battle for, like... Like, why are you boxing yourself up? It doesn't make any sense. That's why you don't just place a block there. Like, I understand if you need to, like, block an arrow shot, but if someone's charging you with an axe, why are you going 2 blocks tall? And then, like, doing a full 45-degree box. Like, why are you spam clicking for it? I don't understand. It's not needed. Oh, behind me. Again, like, dude missed his hit and then just started bridging. Like, why are you... Again, what? It's so much effort for nothing. Like, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, this isn't a movement-based game. You don't... You don't need to do all that. Also, Kimberly, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Trying to see if there are people. Oh, I see. Oh, they jumped in water. Yeah. And there you go. Hey, cool. Sweet. I find it so funny, like, just the visual idea of someone's trying to levy up and with like levitation sparks, right? And you just have one person above them just chucking snowballs at their face. Just so they just get slightly knocked back down as they're flying up. Hold on. What do I need for this? Not you. Lucky quest. I need... Oh, rare clusters. Okay. Cool. Can't make any more of those. Awesome. You know what? 10 pole. Why not? Jerkin, hat, sword, shovel, staff, gauntlet, cue ball, another sword, mask, lollipop. Okay. Mythical, surely. No, you're. It's better to more likely to get it with the purple keys. With these ones, which I have enough for. Oh, I can make a bunch of these. Okay. Where's the rats? There he is. What do I need from this exactly? Cosmetics. I'm missing the slime ones. Okay. Which one am I missing? Hold on. I'm missing the popsicle. Don't I have the popsicle? Didn't I get a popsicle? Huh. Wait, I don't know if that's... I think that's the right one. And then I'm missing... Got a popsicle and the slime link and slime familiar, which I'll just do these ones then. See what we can get. Nothing that I need. Because I already have that one, don't I? Yeah, I have it right there. Huh. Well, let me make the popsicle, because I think I do need that one. Let's see, which one's... Sure. If it says 0 of 1, I'll just make it. They take so long sometimes. No, I don't have... Okay, cool. So actually, I didn't have these ones. Sick. Awesome. Yeah, the crafting in this is simple, but also interesting. Like, realistically, just trying to get this done. Also, probably should try to get this done. I need cluster and uncommon. So you can go, crafting. Yeah, basically. Basically. It's funny, I just have some of the, like, the OG items that are all just now goo now that can be like, oh, you can permanently, like, remove this item, but it's like... But do I want to? You know? It's kind of fun just having these old items, even though they are goo. The thing is, I could, like, level 135. I'm level 122. Like, it takes so much for XP, it's crazy. Does it end? 54 days. Yeah, they're fine. Get to level 100. Oh, cool. I think we'll call it there for today, chat. We've been streaming for right around our normal time. About 2.5 hours. And it's been fun. I hope you all did enjoy the like full breakdown of episode 1. I'll probably do this regularly of like breaking down episode 2, episode 3, and so on and so forth. Like just as a fun way to be like, so this is all this, right? And then that way, if y'all have any questions about things that I did with the editing or about my character or whatnot when you look at an episode. And I also just get to like reveal behind the scenes stuff that I didn't include. For example, saying mimic cows and so on and so forth. But hope y'all did enjoy, chat. With that being said, let us call it a day. You know, we'll just end right here for now. Alright, chat, let's go raid into someone. You know, we don't normally get to raid in the Shep, and Shep is live. Playing Core Keeper, so. /raid, I'm a Shep. And thank you all for joining me today. You all have been awesome, amazing, and wonderful as always. I will see you all on most likely next week on Monday, because just in case, maybe Wednesday, but like it just depends on how much editing I have to do for from Tuesday. But thank you all again, chat. I will see you all until then. You all have been awesome, amazing, and wonderful. And remember, abolish your regrets. I will see you all next time.